Alright, what's good y'all? It's FiveSixOne from the New Orleans channel and welcome back. Today I want to break down the sample that was inspired by Playboi Carti's new tape Whole Lotta Red. It received a lot of attention for its new style of aggressive punk trap, which a lot of people are messing with right now. And I'm also going to be showing off my new analog lab bank titled Iridium, which includes 50 presets for $10 right now on madebynoir.com. There's a lot of crazy sounds in there, as well as a 50% discount code on the site. Use code NOIRGIFT, that should be in the description. And another thing I want to mention would be a new record I got out. On Pop Hunter's debut album Mud Baby, I co-produced Takeoff Remix featuring Lil Uzi with my bro Eastjack. Go stream that. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and show you everything that goes into this punk trap sound Carti's taking it to the mainstream right now. So let's go. Now, listening to this album, I knew immediately that some of my favorite tracks would be Stop Breathing, Slayer, New Tank, and On That Time. They all share that punk feel, and a lot of the songs have the same things in common with the melodies. But even though these melodies may seem difficult to replicate, the main things you gotta remember would be 1. An aggressive upfront synth, 2. Some background ambience and layers, and 3. A hard synth lead that catches the listener's ear. So that's exactly what I did in the sample, and I'm gonna show you guys right now, so let's get into it. But first I want to shout out Filthy, Lucrative, Out of Town, Starboy, Jonah Abraham, all those producers on the tape. They really leveled up his sound. Some would say they even carried Carti, but anyway, it sounded refreshing to hear Carti on these type of beats, so here's my interpretation on it, so let's go. Alright, so before I break down each individual part of the sample, I'm going to play the sample in full so you guys can hear it as per usual. So here you go. So you guys got it from there, so now I'm going to break it down. So when making the sample, the first sound that I used, it would be from Analog Lab for my new bank, Iridium. I used this SRT preset that was in there. That's kind of what it sounds like. And I'm going to play you guys the chord progression that I used without effects first. So that's what that sounds like, and now I'm going to go over the effects that I use. So first I use this RC20. The Icarus just dropped a new kit. It has some RC20 presets in there, so I continued to experiment with them. And I like this Cubeats Master Sauce one, just a little something slight. I tweaked the knobs a little bit, and I also looked at this filter, cut out a little bit of lows and a little bit of highs, and then for these EQs, I just kind of boosted some frequencies and lowered some other ones. So now let's see what that sounds like. So now that's what that sounds like. And then track 2, we got some background keys. I'm going to play them. So those were just some background keys. I'm sure you can find them in Loophole 2 or something from Analog Lab. And then for the effects that I put on a gross beat that had a little stutter in the beginning that I liked and added a glitch type effect. And then I also used RC20. Another Vikas preset, Vintage Roads, tweak the knobs a little bit, and the filter. So now let's see what that sounds like. So yeah, it's just the same kind of repetitive chords, kind of adds that Whole Lotta Red, kind of gritty, distorted feel. So for the third sound, this goes into that background ambience type thing. I added a bell from Analog Lab again. I'm going to play it without effects first. So it kind of follows the same pattern, and then with the effects that I put on, first I stereo separated a little bit, 30% about, and then I opened up gross beat and I chose a preset. That looks like, and then for EQ I just filtered out some of the lows, some of the highs, and then Pancake. This moves it kind of from left and right, just an easy panning plugin. Wow. And then here's what you. So yeah, I'm gonna play all three of these with the effects on just for context before we get into the leads and other stuff. So you can already see it's getting to that like gritty feel. So for track 4, this is the lead that I chose. It was the preset's called Hyperslop from Loophole 2. Shout out Loophole guys. And this is kind of what the MIDI looked like. I'm gonna play it without effects first. So yeah, that's kind of what it sounds like. I'm gonna break down the effects one by one for this one. So I just EQ'd this, added a shelf EQ, easy to take out the lows, and then a gigahertz lossy, weak satellite. I put it about 12%, and also a RC20 retro color. I added the virtual synth preset from Vicas's preset bank, and I tweaked some of the knobs a little bit still. So here's what we got without the decimort. I'm gonna show you guys that later, but here you go. So yeah, you got that little like vintage kind of feel, but the decimort, that's really what changes the sound, right? So if you open up decimort, go to the preset. I use Few Steps from Hell, so I'm gonna open that up again. So this is what it looks like, and then this is what it sounds like. It sounds crazy. So y'all can hear that. That's already just crazy. And then for the fifth sound, I just stacked it up an octave. I used the same effects, but there was no decimort on it. That would just be too much. So I'm going to play that solo, and then I'm going to play it with the other octave. So for this last sound that I added, it was just a texture hit from like Steven Schaefer's one-shot kit. It was called Poor Connection. So I'm just going to play it like solo. There's not really any effects on it. So I just kind of chopped it and it sounded good, so I kept it in. And now let's play the final sample. So that's kind of my interpretation of like a Whole Lotta Red type sample that like Filthy or Lucrative would send. And now I'm gonna pass it off to Icarus so you can teach y'all how to put like hard hitting drums on it and make it sound complete that sound. So yeah, peace.
Yo guys, it's Icarus. Five just hit me up with the loop and I'm just gonna snap on it, add some drums. Yo, what's up guys, it's Icarus. Today I'm gonna be breaking down this beat that I made with Five's loop for Whole Lotta Red. First, I'm gonna play back the loop. You get the gist of it. Very new age Whole Lotta Red type. I mean, that's the vibe. And I'm just gonna break down step by step how I made the beat. First off, I started off with the hi-hats. So I'm gonna play with the hi-hats real quick. Really simple. Alright, I added this loop raider effect, this preset I made. Basically just reverses and repeats itself. Alright, added a clap. Simple, very simple. Added a little snare for bounce, you know, thickness to the clap. Normally, you don't want to overdo it with the snare, but here it just felt right to just add a lot of extra bounce with the snare to the beat. So it just, you know, flows, strengthens the clap a little bit. Here we have some reverse open hats and some regular open hats, just panning left and right. Some reverb, very low. Also smoothened it out so the transient isn't, you know, dirty. Just smooth. Nice. So yeah, so far what we got is the reverse, percussion. Okay, here's where it gets kind of crazy. For the 808, I really wanted to go like thrashy type, like RIP type sound. So I went crazy with it. Right. So yeah, I just, you know. Very simple beat. Just add a little sub bass for flavor in the middle. Put some distortion on it. In the 808, I also added some distortion, just tiny bits. Nothing crazy is going on in this beat. It's just leveling. Add my tag. What I really wanted to get into was the mixing and mastering, because a lot of people don't know how to properly maximize their beats without it sounding like trash, right? Just clipping everywhere. This also does utilize clipping, but it's like, it's more proper. It doesn't really make it sound like shit, you know what I'm saying? So normally the beat would just be clipping really hard like this. Well, what I did was I added a hard clipper, so it clips those peaks, and then I lowered the output. Right? So now it's just maintaining all of those levels below 6, so it's not, you know, it's not actually clipping. It's still clipping, but it's below 6. So also I removed a lot of the sub, because what you could see is a lot of that sub is just dirty. Just lower that, turn up some of the highs, turn up some of the mids, maybe a little bit of the bass, but you don't want to go overkill with that. This is the best. This is like the go-to. You want to put a parallel compressor, especially when it comes to Zay 808 type beats. When you parallel compress a signal, you're basically like squashing it, and then you're playing it along. You're playing it with the actual beat side by side, so it sounds thicker and fuller. So here's how the parallel signal sounds by itself, right? Very squashed, but when you play it with the beat, it sounds full, right? So here we have some stereo separation, because it sounds a little bit too mono. Just 0.2, lower the volume a little bit, nothing crazy, right? And then we had a maximizer. Just, this is a preset, maintain transients. It just keeps the levels high without, you know, keeps it in check. And then here we have a regular just volume meter. Normally for beats, you want to stay below 12, but this one's very loud. It's probably like 11 or 10. Yeah, that's all. And here we have the subsection, right? Subsection, just simple little pattern. It's really simple. Nothing crazy. Some distortion on it. That's pretty much the whole beat though. It's really nothing crazy. It's just the sample has a lot of energy to it, and all you have to do is properly, you know, add drums to it. You don't have to, you can't kill the vibe, you just add to it. Drums aren't really like, yeah, drums do carry the sample, but at the same time you can't kill the vibe that the sample provides with the drums. You have to like do it properly, you know, because sound selection is very proper. Nothing to it. That's just about it. If you want to hear more, no, scratch that. So yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. Nah, scratch that. Circles, scratch that. So yeah, I just wanted to thank you guys for tuning in. If you want to hear more, subscribe. Follow me and Five on Instagram. That's going to be in the description. And yeah, have a good one, bro. Have a good one. No. Have a good one. No. That's it. No, don't add that at the end, Circles. Don't add that at the end. It's a 6-minute tutorial. No, it's already recording, just deafening me. Am I deafened? Alright. I've never done this before, holy shit. Hold on. Should I say what's going on, guys? No, it's just weird. Alright, hold on. Alright, what's up, guys?